The art for today's video is not related to the podcast I will be talking about. And as always, Daryl recommends podcasts as a podcast recommending series and shouldn't be mistaken as a reviewing one. Opinions about each show are my own and should not reflect what each podcast has to offer. Content warnings aside, I believe if any recommendation in my series interests you, you should give it a chance, regardless of how I personally feel about the show.
Well, hello there. I don't think I've seen you around here before. Delighted to make your acquaintance. I'm the proprietor of this little establishment, and while the drinks on offer are of the highest quality, my stories are the true reason for its success. If you'd be willing to listen a while, I could tell you the tale of 4 young people I once encountered in the bustling metropolis of Chapter, the jewel of the United Territories. They were, in fact, superheroes, and their tale has many twists and turns that I'm sure you'll find quite entertaining. Shall I begin?
Hello and welcome to Chapter and Multiverse, the actual play podcast where we explore the same city across multiple parallel universes. I am your game master, Maddie Searle, pronoun she, her, and today we are playing the very first episode of our campaign of Masks: A New Generation, which is designed by Brendan Conway and allows players to take on the role of young superheroes. But before we go any further, I must introduce our wonderful and talented players.
Our players, using different tabletop RPG systems, explore the city of Chapter. With different settings, genres, and systems, the possibilities are endless. Chapter and Multiverse is an actual play podcast that no longer updates and has 1 season of episodes to listen to. It has 1 larger campaign and multiple mini-campaigns through its run. Each of these stories involve different players and characters, as well as different settings. The only thing that's similar, they all happen in the city of Chapter. Their first main campaign, Masks, is based off of a superhero tabletop RPG with the same name. It's called Masks. We follow characters Morgan, played by Laurie Ann Davis, Joseph, played by Pip Gladwin, Minnie, played by Lydia Nicholas, and Adib, played by Ahmed Ajabri. So I like this show a lot as like a recommendation for people who want to get into actual play podcasts but don't really want something that's too long enough to have a decent story but not long enough that it's like having to go through bigger shows such as the Adventure Zone or Critical Role. And it's good because their mini campaigns are usually only 3 episodes long and it has different players, so you can always see whether or not if it's just like a player thing or a story thing that gets you into a show. Their main campaign is fun, and I like their little mini-shows. I love the one where they were playing as Eldritch Goats. It involved Eldritch Goats. It's a weird-ass one, but it's one of my favorite ones they did. And I love their DM Maddie's world building that makes one confined place seem extremely different each time. I think they're really good at building up worlds like that. And I also just really like Maddie Searle as a DM too. They're very good at their play as somebody who's always stuck as the forever DM in their D&D games. Maddie does a really good job at being a DM for tabletop games. Now, their story for Masks, which only has 1 season and does end on a cliffhanger, unfortunately, is roughly less than the size of the entirety of What's Left of Us at the point that I'm recording this. So if you are somebody who does listen to What's Left of Us, but are not in the mood for something super long and another tabletop story to keep up with, this show, I believe, from something that Rusty Quill put out for their 2023 plans last year in 2022, technically 2 years ago now because it's 2024, but back in 2022 when they were putting up a file based off of what shows they're working on and their management, all of that, they mentioned that the show is no longer in running and it has not updated since it ended. So if you do not want a campaign that does end on a cliffhanger, I would not recommend this as a show for somebody who may want to continue with it. But if you do want to listen to it just to see what it's like and maybe get into more tabletop RPG stuff, it's shorter than What's Left of Us. So that's at least at the time that I'm recording this, because What's Left of Us is 20 episodes and the mass campaign that they did for Chapter Multiverse isn't even at 20 episodes. I believe it's 17 or 18. But it's nice. It's nice. I'm familiar with Lydia Nicholas as a tabletop RPG player, a player in the game, because I listen to Rusty Quill Gaming, and they're very good at that, and I love her character in this show, and I just love all the characters in this show. They're very good. If you, like I said, if you don't want a cliffhanger, you want to know how these characters' stories end, and don't be like me and be sad about it, I really, really hope they go back someday as like a side thing and finish this story, because I'm very interested to see how it goes based off how it ended. And they're not just the only other players in this too. They have a lot of different other people who come onto the show for their mini campaigns. And if you're somebody who likes Rusty Quill Gaming, Lydia Nicholas, Ben Meredith, and Helen Gould are players on the show. Now, Ben Meredith and Helen Gould, like I said, is not on their Mask campaign. It's only Lydia who is, but they do play other characters. And I believe, I don't remember exactly because I haven't listened to it in forever, but I believe Ben Meredith and Helen Gould are in the Eldritch Goats story, and people who know me well know I love goats, so that was like my favorite mini campaign they did. So please go listen to it. It's so silly. It is so, so silly. And so, for content warnings and stuff, like I said, like, I keep mentioning the Eldritch Goats thing, which is, I think, their most intense, like, whoa, story thing. There is individual content warnings throughout the Mask campaign, but, like, nothing super huge and super major that I feel like I need to point out beforehand. There is, like, some sensitive stuff involving Joseph's story, because he has a kind of, like, weird, complicated, situational, mommy issues thing going on, but that's about it. If you like this show and you like Maddie's DMing skills and storytelling skills, then I suggest you go follow their other projects. They are part of the cast of Realms of Peril and Glory, as well as the creator of Snazzy Tapir Productions, which are just a bunch of podcasts that Maddie has made. And so you should go check them out. Now, granted, I haven't listened to any of them personally myself, but that's because I have to be in a specific mood for a tabletop RPG podcast. And I think Chapter Multiverse was the last tabletop RPG podcast I sought to listen to just before What's Left of Us. So if you want a idea of that, but they also go and play games such on another show called The Game of One Zone. So yeah, if you want to go check that out, you should go and do it. Go check it. Go check out their work. Go support Maddie because they made a good show. I'm very sad that this one isn't on anymore. Yeah, if you want to go see their DMing skills, if you want to go see their other story working stuff, if you want to hope that maybe someday the whole cast of the Mask campaign will finish the game, please, Rusty Quill, let them finish the game. I want to know how it ends. I need to know how it ends. Go check them out because it's just so nice, and I'm sad that I didn't get to finish. And I was really invested in like a season 2 for Chapter Multiverse, and also just having Karim Cronfley play the interdimensional bartender was very nice, and he was very good at that too, and I very much enjoyed that. So yeah, I'm sad to see it go. I'm really sad to see it go. So you should go check out Maddie's other stuff, and as of course. I know I'm kind of blundering a bit through like the talking about their other works because one, I haven't listened to any of it yet, even though I do have all of it bookmarked. But I am going to be linking all of that stuff down below, so that way you guys who does not have the issues of me being like I gotta be in the mindset for a new tabletop RPG podcast can just go look at it yourself. Go do that. Go do it right now. It's very good. Follow their work. That's basically my big thing. Is if you're not gonna listen to Chapter and Multiverse, you should at least go check out Maddie's currently running stuff because they would appreciate it, and I think it's a good idea. So go do it, because I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it when I get there. I promise. I have it bookmarked. I have so many podcasts to listen to, which reminds me to tell you that if you have any shows you want me to look at and listen to, you should link it down below. I know I keep saying I have a long list of shows, but I'm always taking suggestions, and a lot of times people suggest stuff that I already am thinking of listening to, and it's there. So, if you want to recommend me more things, you should go and do that, because I think that's a good idea as well. And you can also follow me on other social media sites if you want. I do have a card now, so that's like a little bit more organized for my social medias. And you can go support me by reading my comic. I got a new comic that came out. It's a very good one. I think I worked so hard on it, and I very much want people to read it. So if that's the thing you like too, go check out my comic In Harmony. Yay! Anyway, that's it. That's enough shelling. Goodbye. Hope you guys have a good day, and go support Maddie Searle. That's very much something I would like you all to do. Goodbye.